Hi, when you bring in an object and you want to segment it by pressing up and down arrow key and left right arrow key, remember that you have to be on the right cursor, right viewport with the cursor, and you can see that in texture mode you don't see anything, but via texture you see all the segmentation. You press spacebar to activate it. So when you select something, you need to be either in point, edge, or polygon mode. With point mode, you can do a right click and select number of points like that. You can press backslash or front slash or your question mark on your keyboard to deactivate it. You can hold shift, you can click, and then if you want to add, you hold shift to add more points. You can also lasso it with your right mouse button. You can lasso something. If you don't hold shift and you lasso something, it deactivates that area. But there are two ways of deactivating the whole thing or a partial thing. So if you want to do the whole thing, you do front slash or question mark on your keyboard and deactivate it. So these are some way of selecting and deselecting. Suppose you have selected on the polygon mode or the edge mode, and edge mode is basically it selects the lines. You can also do with your right mouse button holding shift, and it will select all the lines. If you want to really select the surface, then what you do is you go to the polygon mode, which is at the bottom here, and you can do a right click of a certain areas, or you can hold shift and add. The principles are the same. If you're not holding shift and do a right mouse button, right mouse lasso, it will deselect those areas. And if nothing is selected, then it will select those areas. So you hold the right mouse button, click, hold, and drag around a certain space. So click, hold, and drag around a certain space. So I can do backslash, front slash, and deactivate. If I want to select certain areas, I can go to the selection tab over here. If you look at the selection tab right on top, and then I can go and expand it here. Right here there's the expand mode, and it will start expanding that area. And you can also reduce the expansion by going to contract. So expansion and contract, if you have a very subtle, very fine, and you can hardly click and select, so you can select one part of it and then start expanding it or contracting it depending on. So these are some of the selection tools that are there for you to select. And I hope it will be in the 3D selection tool on your D2L. You can also view in certain ways. For example, I want to view only this part. So I can go to the view mode here and click on hide unselected. So it will hide the unselected. It doesn't delete anything. It just you don't see it. You can unhide it. If you want to do the opposite, then do hide selected, and it will just hide that area that you don't want to work on. You can also invert it back and forth. So this is in the view mode on the tab, and it is right here at the bottom to hide selected. You can unhide and then you follow the same principle. Hide selected, that means whatever you select here, it will hide. You won't see that, and you can see that right here. So if you want to do the opposite, hide unselected, or invert, unhide, I can go and select like this with the lasso tool and hide selected, or unhide. So these are some of the things you have to play with. Hope that helps, and thank you, and you'll find this in D2L. Thank you so much.